And I believe we are. Oh no. Please, microphone, do not fail me now. Hello, hello, hello. Ah, I see the problem. Let's put that here. Oh, goodness. Why is the sensitivity so low? This is why we test things, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, hello and welcome again to another stream. And today, is that going to work? Hello, hello, hello. Uh-oh. Ah, I see the problem. At least I believe I do. Hello? Oh goodness. Way too low. In any case, apologies for that. Let's see if I can get my tail moving too. Come on. There we are. All right, I believe we are finally back. So yes, hello, hello, and welcome to another stream. And today I thought would be a good way to introduce myself, since you've probably seen this form for a while now. In this form I am known as Hikari Harpy, and as you can see in these illustrations of mine, I have a tail, I have wings, and I have a mask that can come off. What is behind the mask? Well, if you've been around, you've probably seen it. I have let it slip before. I don't usually like to, unless I'm drinking milk tea. But today, I believe I'd let you all in some lore of mine. I am the creator of the world of Sanctus, but I also have my sort of own home world that I reside in. But unfortunately, it has seen better days. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to take some time to redecorate. So as you might have seen from the opening scene, the place I reside in is known as the Creative Gardens. Mostly because, well, I don't know, I fancy the celestial and cottagecore themes. So I'm thinking that the place I reside in should look something like that. So we'll probably take some time to do a little bit of brainstorming of how I want my home to look like. And other than that, I believe I also want to solidify a few other character designs. So as you can see today, I'll be working with some peelable crayons. I don't usually work with these. I know most of the time I use alcohol markers, but I do love how these work and how they blend when the mood strikes me. So I'll be working with those when I want to get to coloring. And of course I have my ever trusty colored line art pens over here of various brands. They've also been coming very much in handy for the Hunter's Tale comic, which is almost done. I only have 11 pages to go. Isn't that exciting? And yes, that does mean that the comic dub for the final part of the Hunter's Tale is also underway. But enough about all that. I do have some preliminary sketches of possibly what I want things to look like for my new home. Or I suppose I could say my old home, but perhaps that's some lore for another day. Although, upon looking at these sketches again, I am reminded of the Moon Kingdom from Sailor Moon. No idea is truly unique, am I right? And I'll go ahead and show off the sketches for some other characters that I plan on working on today, that I'll refine, figure out what they're about, what their clothing designs and their body designs will look like. But I will get more into them when it comes time to design them. So, yeah. We can hopefully get started on that. So let's see. I still like the idea of sort of a celestial garden type of theming. Some type of like cottagecore with a little bit of refinement. But first, we kind of need a base of perspective to work with. So we'll start with the outside. I do have an entire planet worth of space to work with, but since really I'm the only one on this planet that I know of, I'll just I'll make enough space for me for now, and we'll see how everything goes from there. Right now that kind of just looks like a several layered cake right now. But I'm not sure. Still not sure what I want the main building to look like as of yet. I am thinking that possibly my main room that I might draw an indoor space in will be somewhere at the very top somewhere. Maybe I should have more trees in the garden. Maybe that's what I'm missing. But what type of trees? Interestingly enough, I did manage to come upon some resources that mentioned all the different types of leaves that could be found on a tree, and all the ways that people put them into boxes. So maybe I'll just play around with a couple of different trees of a couple different leaf types and see where we go from there. Although one thing I did find interesting when I was looking at these different types of leaves was finding out more about like the different plants that had the type that could move. For instance, I'm sure most people are familiar with the Venus flytrap. You know, if you they have these sort of like very sensitive hair type things on their leaves that are like basically moths, so that, you know, when a fly goes inside or what have you, then that's what forces it to close. So apparently there are like other types of plants that also have these like sorts of type of leaves. They just don't look like moths. They're just leaves on a, you know, stem. And it's just that when you touch them, they just sort of like fold in on themselves. I think one reason that they possibly gave was that like they're trying to like preserve water or something. But I'm not entirely sure. I did not look too deep into it. Although that is usually how research goes. Usually just very scant, very like surface level things. I am kind of liking this tree. This tree almost looks like it could bear a fruit of some kind. But we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Ooh, maybe even like moon fruits. Crescent moon fruits. I would like to say that I think it's because, thanks to Bob Ross, that I've grown to love making, like, natural specimens. trees and foliage and mountains in the distance, all that sort of thing. I think it's because I've learned how freeing it is to just make things that don't really have many natural straight lines. And when you don't have to worry about straight lines, it's like you don't feel too beholden to the rules of perspective. You can just kind of go wherever. At least that's what it feels like for me. Because once it comes to buildings, then you have to really make sure it's in perspective. You have to make sure that it's the right size, the right height. Otherwise it'll look too big or too small. Especially too small. That's usually the case for me, especially right here. I've already made the tree look too big in comparison. Because I want the building to look bigger than the trees, but right now I've been just sort of focusing on the details of the trees, which is why they're so big right now. So I can adjust the size later. I think I am starting to like the idea of just having a variety of species of trees that have different types of leaves and whether or not they're fruit bearing. Because, you know, usually my standard trees are like just puffs on sticks essentially. Or sometimes, you know, vaguely Douglas fir looking. So, really starting to like the look of these trees. And hello again, welcome, welcome. It's so nice to see you in the chat again. I hope your day is going well. Just as a quick recap, today we are doing some redecorating for my home world. As my character is... this form is known as Hikari Harpy. Because you see that I have a tail, and in other pictures you can see my wings. But what I am is essentially something of a creator demigod, I suppose. But currently the realm, the planet that I'm on, is sort of barren. And I just want to create a little home for myself on this world. So that's what I'm doing right now. A lot of celestial and cottagecore themes that I'm thinking about. So that's what I'm currently working on. So far I've been messing around with different types of trees that can go in the front garden. Other than that, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to style the large building that I want in the back. I think just overall, I also want to plot out where the path is. a kind of like a curved path, which would mean that I could possibly have like a little pond over here. Do I want to be fancy and have like a little bridge over it? And if that's the case, if I'm going to have a bridge over it, then the bridge might as well connect back to the path. And of course, I want some lilies on these lily pads here, because those are always fun. It's been a while since I've drawn those. Chat says, Bob Ross taught me how fun it is to paint environments. Ooh, you know what? I should bring this over here. Bob Ross taught me how to paint environments with wide paint strokes instead of sketching every detail, like making leaves by tapping your brush repeatedly on the canvas. And goodness, I'm having so many technical difficulties today. I am so sorry. I think I will just keep the microphone in one place. I think... Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Hello again. Hello, welcome to anyone who just came in. Sorry about that. But yeah, to sum up what I was trying to say, you don't need a whole lot of details when it comes to natural things like leaves and such. So yes, you are very correct in that it is very easy to just sort of hand wave the details. So, yeah, again, my apologies. My technology has been quite finicky as of late. I think the cord that goes to my microphone is a little finicky, so I don't know. Perhaps I should look into a new one. Oh well, it was nice while it lasted, I suppose. It was a hand-me-down anyways. Hello! Welcome, welcome! I'm seeing quite a few familiar faces in the chat right now, so... I'm very happy to see you all here, honestly. But yeah, so just to recap, today is a little bit of Hikari Harpy lore day. In that I live on a sort of desolate planet, so today is going to be a bit of a home decorating sort of thing. This was the initial sketch that I had initially made. Looked a little bit like the Moon Kingdom from Sailor Moon, now that I had a second look at it. But I think I have a decent idea of where I want to try and go with this. And then I think later I'll also work on some more character designs for some other actual characters that I had them in the mind as side characters. So these are the initial sketches as well, but I'll get more into their lore when we get around to them. Thank you for those who are just only popping in. Let me just go ahead and fix some things so that I'm moving again. I don't know why my tail wishes to be so difficult. There we are. Alright, just double checking everything is working now. Alright, there we are. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Everything is just breaking around me. It's all breaking. It's all falling apart. This is what I get for living in the ruins. Which is why I need to refurbish things. Which is what we're working on now. I'll be sure to summon up a new microphone once I have the time and available energy. For the person who said that the UI reminds you of Mario Paint, yes, I'm very familiar with that game. But for anyone who's just curious, it's I believe it's called Vero 2 Mini. It's free to download for those who are interested in making their own PNG tubers. It's very simple. All you need is pictures for like open mouth and closed mouth, and everything else you can just sort of like toggle in between and make sure that the sensitivity is correct. All things that I try to do before the stream starts, but I suppose it just slipped my mind this time around. Hello, and welcome to those joining in. How are you all doing today? Again, quick recap. My form is called Hikari Harpy, and currently I am working on some redecorating because I live on a very desolate, empty planet. So I need to make myself a house. Well, a garden to be precise, but you know. So I think I need to make these trees taller and thinner. Also, I would like to try something a little bit silly. I hope you enjoy. Actually, perhaps I should do it like this. Here we go. Or maybe even like this. Put a little bush here, a little bush here. fields over here. Maybe I'll put a couple of butterflies and dragonflies around. And birds. I should probably do birds. I believe I have the idea that I would like. So I'm going to try and make one where it's all nice and colored. Now the question is if I can get the perspective right to get everything I actually want in the scene. Random question. What boba is the best in my opinion? And yes, there are googly eyes. So, my opinion, honey, tapioca, pearls, they're my personal favorite. But I believe I missed some messages, so one moment. If you ever need a fun stream idea, Mario Paint for the N64 with a mouse could be it. It's a really fun game. I will certainly take that into consideration, although I don't believe I have the necessary tools to play that at the moment. So I used to definitely play Mario Paint back on the Super Nintendo back in the day. I had a lot of fun with the animation tools. I know some people who had a lot of fun making music on it as well. Even the people behind Homestar Runner, the Brothers Chap, I believe, they made some Homestar Runner animations on that as well, so that's a lot of fun. And for anyone who just left the chat, thank you for popping in, and I hope you have a wonderful day. But yes, we will keep going on our artistic journey. And hopefully I do not mess with the microphone too much. I should not shy away from making tiny little creatures. That's probably what's missing from all my more naturalistic scenes. I need more little creatures. I just need more practice in those. I think I'm starting to grow really fond of this one with the really round leaves. Just looks fun looking. picnic basket over here, 'cause why not? Still not quite sure what I want to do for the building. Chat says you can emulate it with Project 64, I think, and enable the mouse. Some people say GoldenEye. Some people play GoldenEye that way because it plays way better. And perhaps that is true. Me though, I mean, you've seen how I am with technology. I'm not sure if I trust myself with an emulator. And besides, oh no, stealing is wrong. We can't promote that. Now let's see. I think at this point I'm just sort of using up time by drawing trees, since I still have no idea what I want to do for the building. I've more or less plotted out where I want all the flower beds to be. I even made a couple of creatures. So there's that. But, yeah, still not sure the shape of the building. All I know is that I still want those front columns. So maybe I'll at least do that. We'll make one story. Actually, that would be further in the back, so that the column would actually be in front here. So for the person in chat who missed the boba question, I'm fairly simple. I love myself some honey tapioca pearls. In fact, that is what I have right now. Some jasmine milk tea with honey boba. Also, just a quick shout out to Haruo Ida. They make very amazing artwork. And another one in chat says brown sugar milk is the best, honestly. I mean, honestly, if you can't handle caffeine, brown sugar milk is probably the best way to experience milk tea without having any tea in it. I know brown sugar milk was what I had for a long while when I wanted to keep off caffeine for a while. Honeydew milk tea also slaps, yes. Yes, Haruo, you are right. I've also had plenty of places honeydew milk tea. Yeah. Again, it really depends, but if done right, the honeydew milk tea is also wonderful. Maybe next time that's what I'll get. I know a place that can do a pretty decent honeydew milk tea, I believe. But I think I have my basis for my final sketch, so I'm going to start inking and then I will get to coloring. But we are on a different planet. Who says we have to stick to traditional colors, hmm? Yes, I still have the googly hand, because why not? You know? Okay. I do not wish to upset the balance. I also want to put one over here. Haruo says the line art is looking awesome. Thank you very much. I'm just sort of winging the colors as I go. I still have no idea about the building, but you know, at least it looks unique. It kind of looks like it's like a, I don't know, some sort of one-story building. I guess technically 2 stories. It's a building that has columns and then something that looks like a winged helmet, I suppose, up here, but this is supposed to be a window. I will be able to close it, of course. I'll have, like, you know, curtains up inside, so if I really need to keep this window closed, I have ways of doing that. But other than that, I believe I'm almost done with the line art. Just need one more tree and then we'll get on to moving on to the crayons. So if you've noticed that there are quite a few details missing, I'm hoping that the crayons will help me sort of fudge my way through it. But first things first. Let's start with the building. And actually, I think I need one more color. It was probably for the best that I added a couple of critters in here. Feels a little bit more like springtime, doesn't it? believe I am nearly done with this piece. It's not like one of my prettiest pieces, but I believe it still gets the vibe across that I'm trying to go for. this piece is done for the time being. Not too bad of a preliminary colored piece. I think I could definitely work with this. Sort of expand upon it in the future, perhaps. And now that we have that done, I think I will move on to some character design sketches. So before I begin my character design sketches, I think I would like to try to describe who these characters are, because unlike last time when I was working purely off of one idea that I just had almost that same day, these characters are actually something I've been working on for a bit. Her specifically, I've been working on for a while. Well, these two just sort of came about later. So, this is a priestess named Momogaitsu, and to add some background as to what sort of priestess she is, she believes in the power of the three princesses. The three princesses being these sort of legendary mythical fae that represented the moon, the sun, and the gravitational pull in between. Sort of a light and dark plus balance sort of structure, if that makes any sense. So Momo has gone through a number of huge design changes since I initially came up with her. Momo initially was not even a priestess. She had holy powers to speak of, but she was not really a priestess. She was descended from a priestess. If anyone's heard of Inuyasha, you could think of her as sort of like Kagome, in that she had some sort of Kikyo equivalent that she was descended from. And her personality was far, far more different than what she is now, where in the past she was far more childlike in the immature sense. Now she's more childlike in the innocent sense. So she very much tries to believe in the good in people and that sort of thing. And so in the world of Sanctus and the Snapdragon Club, she actually takes care of a sort of temple to the three princesses. And these two are going to be sort of her magical helpers and caretakers along with her, to basically keep the temple clean, make sure that no one defiles it, make sure that they do their prayers and such, because they believe with all their heart that eventually the princesses will come back to right all the wrongs in the world, such as the recent monster attacks that have been happening in the continent of Ocean, as well as to just bring general peace, harmony, and happiness to those who deserve it. But yeah, as for these two, I should probably clarify that another old part of her design was that she used to carry around a teddy bear, which could then transform into an actual battle polar bear of sorts. In fact, no, perhaps another lore time I'll go through that. But that being said, needless to say, part of her design was that she would carry a teddy bear with her, and so I figured since she doesn't have her teddy bear in this incarnation, that perhaps these two would actually be dolls given to her by Dolly. So these dolls come to life and become human-ish sized helpers to just help her keep things tidy and neat and generally take care of each other, since Momo lives alone otherwise. At least that's the general idea I'm aiming for. They also don't talk, but they're very expressive with their body language. So these are the general ideas I'll be working on, and hopefully I can finalize their designs. Not that I plan on using them in the comics anytime soon, but it's just nice to have, and just another thing to add more life into the world of Sanctus, if that makes any sense. Also, see you, Haruo. Thank you for dropping by. And for anyone who's watching the VOD, I would also like to thank you. I know this particular stream has had a lot of technical difficulties. I don't know why, but perhaps it's a good thing I plan on making a couple of trips, so hopefully I can fix those by the next time we do the stream. I'm pretty proud of the sketches so far. As you can see, I sketched the helpers and their doll forms. Oop. Goodness, it's been 2 hours already. So I think what I'll do is I believe I would like to call it here for now. And hopefully by the time I do the stream again next Friday, which by the way I will be trying to keep to the 10:30 a.m. PST time schedule. So with that being said, thank you very much everyone for joining me today. It has been an absolute pleasure speaking with everyone who stopped by and chat today. And for those who are watching the VOD, I also thank you for taking the time to stop by and see what I'm up to. I am still very excited to get the comic dub out, hopefully by the end of the year, but you know, life happens, so we'll see how that goes. And yes, hopefully by the time the next time I stream, hopefully I will get my microphone situation sorted out. Wish me luck on that, please. And yeah, as usual, if this is your first time here, I hope you take the time to leave a like, a comment, or maybe even subscribe if you like my art style and you like the projects that I'm working on. And also I have all sorts of links in my channel profile if you'd like to check those out. So yeah, I believe that will be all for today's stream. So until next time, my friends, stay safe and have a wonderful day. Bye.